everyone. My name is Pharmacist Michael, and today I'm going to talk about something that is sort of a pet peeve of mine, but it's something that comes up over and over again, and it is about judging people and why we really shouldn't be doing it. And this is also, we're also going to talk about gossiping. So, what are some of the reasons that we really shouldn't be judging people? The first reason that I can think of is it's not productive, right? We're not if we're judging people or talking about people, um, we're not being productive. It wastes our time, and it doesn't really result in anything good, right? It's something that basically is just a complete colossal waste of our time. The second thing is gossiping about people and judging people brings us negative energy. Positive energy is always a lot better than negative energy. So that's another thing to always remember is if you're talking about people or looking for their shortcomings or trying to find reasons why they're not as good as you are or whatever you're talking about at the time, you're drawing negative energy to yourself. Positivity always makes us feel better. It just does. Being positive, being happy, all seems to go together. That's why I always tell people not to watch the news, because it's full of negativity. And it's hard to feel good after you've watched a half an hour of all the bad things that are happening in the world. Another thing about gossip is if you're gossiping with people, these are the same people that are going to be talking about you as soon as you turn around and walk away from them. Remember that. And it makes you somebody who other people look at in a negative way too. Because if you're part of a group of people who gossips about other people, not only are those people going to gossip about you, but the people that are outside of that group are going to see you as part of that group and don't think that they don't know that other people are gossiping, because they do. We all know, right? I like to tell my staff, and I haven't had a problem with this here yet, but I like to say, is this conversation helping patient care or is it hurting patient care? If you're gossiping, it's never helping patient care. In fact, it's not helping anything. All it's doing is drawing negative energy to you. It's making you maybe feel better about yourself because somebody else is, in your mind, less than you are, when in reality, we're all the same. Hi, Daphne. Thank you for coming in. So, and you guys can ask questions. I see there's a couple of people in here. If you have any questions and you want to change the subject to anything, that's fine. I just want to get through this little lecture. And Daphne knows where this is coming from. So the other thing is, it's not our job to judge others. The only being really that should be judging people is God. That's not our job. Our job is to help each other, right? Our job is not to judge somebody else. Everybody's here for a reason. Isn't gossiping the same as lying? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Gossiping is when you talk about other people in a negative way. So if, let's say, somebody saw somebody drunk at a party, and then they tell all their friends that they saw John at a party and he was hammered, and he did this and he did that, and that would be more of gossip. Lying is just something that is a bad thing to do too, right? Because you are saying things that aren't true, and people lie for different reasons, right? They lie maybe to make themselves feel better. They lie to try to get themselves out of trouble, usually. But it's not good either. But if you're judging somebody who you think is lying, again, we haven't got to this point yet, but, well, we'll get there. Let's just get there, okay? We don't know what other people are going through. And that's another reason you should never gossip about somebody, because you can't get inside their head. You don't know what their life's like at home. You don't know what kind of mental disorders they have. You don't know if they're depressed. You don't know if they're addicted to drugs. You don't know anything about them. Maybe they're being abused by somebody in their own house. So a lot of things can be going on in somebody's life. And I'm going to give you a little story at the end of this that I heard at church that I've never forgotten, but it will bring us back to this same point. But I'm going to save that till the end. Every one of us has problems. That's the other things. We all have them. We all have problems. We all have different kinds of problems. We should be using our energy that we have been given to help people and not hurt them, right? Now, you can choose not to hang around with people that gossip, which I think is a good idea. You can also choose not to hang around with people that lie, like Daphne was saying. But remember, do you want to just ostracize these people from your life? Or do you want to try to help them? You don't have to condone their behavior to help them. We can help people even if we don't condone their behavior. A heroin addict's a perfect example, right? You may not agree with what they're doing with their life, but if you can do something to help them get off drugs, you might save their life. So that's another thing to always keep in mind, that negative behavior oftentimes is a result of something else going on in that person's life that you may know nothing about. Could be a psychiatric condition, right? Psychiatric conditions are no different than medical conditions. What about people that lies about really, really serious situations? Well, I mean, again, we don't know why they're lying, right? And give me an example of a serious situation. I mean, what is a really serious situation, and are the lies detrimental to somebody else? Are the lies, I mean, I'm trying to think of an example. Lying about health conditions. Well, it depends on why they're doing it. Are they lying about health conditions because they want more attention? Are they lying about health conditions because they really believe they have the health conditions? Or are they lying about health conditions because they have some other psychiatric problem that's going on constantly? So again, we can't step inside their shoes, so we don't know. Hi, Kat. We don't know why they're doing these things, right? We don't know. In my opinion, it's better to give people the benefit of the doubt and try to help them if we can do that. No, you don't condone. Nobody said you had to. Remember the heroin addict story. I don't condone people using drugs either, but I will absolutely go out of my way to try to get them off of them. And the same with alcohol. Believe me, guys, I've been through hell and back with alcohol, and I will not, if somebody comes to me that wants help, I am not going to shoo them away because I don't agree with what they're doing. Because again, that's judging them, but I will help them get off of that drug. I will. I absolutely will. The other thing that I kind of want to talk about here is helping people generally makes us feel better than gossiping about people or shunning people or making fun of people or any of those types of things, right? If you use your time and energy to help somebody, you usually will feel better about yourself than if you don't. And the other thing, this is my last point on this subject. Then we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Okay? If you're gossiping and you're talking shit about somebody else or crap, I'm not supposed to swear on here, then you could certainly destroy a relationship that could save you someday, because we just don't know, right? We just don't know. And that is something that you might not be able to recover from. I'm going to have to go back and edit that part out so I don't get in trouble, guys. So here's the story that I want to tell you. I heard this in church. It might have been 10 years ago, and you might have heard it before, but there was a man on a bus with 3 little kids, all under the age of 6. And the kids were jumping around, screaming and yelling, running all over the bus. And this bus was full of other people. And the man that was with the kids was looking out the window. Wasn't talking to the kids, wasn't trying to get the kids to behave. And the other people in the bus started talking about this guy. What's wrong with him? What kind of dad is that? Why in the world won't he help and get these kids under control? They're driving us crazy. Kids just kept screaming. Guy kept looking out the window. Somebody behind the guy tapped on his shoulder and said, "Hey, your kids are causing all kinds of problems here. What's going on? Is there a problem?" And the guy turned around and said, "My wife just died in a car accident." So, again, we don't ever know what somebody's going through. And that's a perfect example of why you should never judge somebody else. So in that case, the guy's probably wondering, how am I going to deal with these kids? What am I going to do? I've got 3 little kids and no wife. So that's even a hard story for me to tell, just because, I can't even imagine what it would be like. Do not throw stones. That's right. That's right. I agree with you. I agree with you, Doodle. I agree. I agree with that statement. There is no excuses. But in that case, maybe there is. Do you think that that's an excuse? Who determines if there is an excuse or not an excuse? If you really don't know why the person's doing the things they're doing, that is your job, Daphne. But if you got in a car wreck and died tomorrow, how would your husband deal with that? Would he act the same as he does today? Probably not. So, I mean, guys, this is just a example of things that can happen and a perception that you may have. Your job is to correct that behavior. I agree with you. But would you also agree that there might be circumstances where you're less than able to do that based on your mental place that you are in at that time? Not all of us can fulfill our obligations 100% perfectly at all times. We just can't do that because there's other circumstances that might be going on in our lives that may make us prone to, I'm preaching to the choir. I know. Questions? You guys have questions for me? Does anybody have any questions? I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you guys came in. It makes me happy. I've had a morning that has been, I would say, less than ideal. I've been in meetings since 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever time I got here. It seems like eternity. But does anybody have any questions? Medical questions would be good. This is a good time for them. You have questionable moments. You don't feel good. Well, guys, if you don't feel good, do things to make you feel better. Do things to make you feel better. Yes, April, and I will talk to you about this offline. I probably know a lot more than you think I know. In fact, it's not probably, for sure. So you know that this is I'm not going to say that it is a surprise to me at all, but I also have a very welcoming place that I want everybody to feel comfortable, and my goal is to help as many people as I possibly can. And that is the whole reason that I'm on social media, really. I mean, it's funny. It started out to promote Sunshine Nutraceuticals. That's why I came on. That's why I started TikTok, was to promote Sunshine Nutraceuticals. I agree with you. I agree with you, April. But I think helping people is the reason that I'm on social media, and I don't think it's necessarily just to promote products. I think it's to help people get through hard parts in their lives, right? You guys know we've had people with all kinds of issues, cancer, liver problems, losing children, all kinds of stuff. And some of these things, maybe it's just finding someone else who has went through the same thing that you can talk to, that just happens to be in the room when you're in the room, right? It might not be me at all. I may just be the conduit to bring two people together that really need to talk to each other because they're going through the same thing or have went through the same thing in the past. So yeah, Josh is back in school. I dropped him off Sunday night. He wasn't very happy. He wants to come back. He likes it down here because I think I spend enough time with him. Anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off here. Thanks for coming. This has been a good live. I think we'll see how it does as far as viewership goes. So I will see you guys, if not before morning, in the morning. I am going to work on Joshua's video that I think you guys will really, really enjoy. But 19 minutes, Doodle. If you have any questions, I can stay, but you guys got to give me questions because this is different than TikTok. I have to keep talking about something. So if you got a medical question, you can ask me. I would be happy to answer it. That's really what this is all about. But if you don't, I sort of have to jump off because I can't just, it won't tell you who's here. It won't tell you who's here. You have to be at work at 7 o'clock. Do you like it? Do you guys like this forum at all? I like it that you're on here. It's funny because it says there's only 2 people here, but I know there's at least 3. So I don't know how that works. I'm thinking about doing this every day. If you guys have any subjects you want me to cover, please tell me. Please tell me. because I basically what I do, guys, I just write notes to myself, and then I come in here and I tape this thing up right under my phone, and I can tell you. Doodle needs a picture. Doodle needs a picture of what? Doodle, do you need a picture? Doodle's video is doing pretty good. I think it's almost up to 100, guys. We're getting close. We're getting close to 100 views on that video. You write notes to yourself. Otherwise, I'll be a blah, 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 blah. Profile pic. Yeah, Doodle, you need a profile pic so we know who you are. You need a profile pic on here. She's right. All I see is a purple D2. We can't have that. We need to see the beautiful Doodle. We do. She's a TikTok star now, or she's always been a TikTok star. She's a YouTube star. She's the star of my video a couple times ago. You are beautiful. Doodle, you're absolutely beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. You are beautiful. And you should add a picture. You've got a lot of good ones. In fact, you sent one to me that I put on the video thumbnail. So, yes. So, guys, remain positive. Remember what I said. If you have any comments, you know where to find them. Oh, quit. Quit, cat. Quit that. That's how you spread the positivity. Okay. So I will see you guys. I got to go back to work. I do. But thanks for coming. I really do appreciate you guys. I do.